Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the DC McFarlane Multiverse 7-inch scale Arrow action figure. Now this is a brand new line from McFarlane Toys, 7-inch scale to match DC Direct and DC Collectibles. This is their first live action figure from the Arrow TV show. We know we're going to be getting a Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey. So this here should kind of show us what to expect with other live action figures moving forward. I'm really hoping to see some stuff from the older Burton or Nolan films. Love to get a Batfleck Batman. So let's go and check out the packaging here. Here's Arrow in there, got his hood. I must say I personally thought the Mattel one was awfully soft in their sculpt. This one here is already looking better. The question is he going to be better than the DC Direct versions? Ages 12 plus. 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, you can see the Spawn logo there. Looks like he has Quiver, arrows that are removable, a bow, a stand, a collector's card, DC Multiverse, green arrow. Side here, green arrow from the show Arrow. Other side here, simply says green arrow. On the bottom, there's a barcode in case anybody needs it, as well as some credits. On the back, you can see Arrow as he is from the TV show. And a bunch of other figures. We've got Batman in his Hellbat armor, Batman the Animated Series Batman, Batman's Raptor vehicle, Superman from the Animated Series, and then Harley Quinn from the film Birds of Prey. This is the only figure that's not actually out yet. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And this figure was a part of a nice lot of figures I got from Amazon.com today. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with a bow and arrow, a quiver of arrows, some arrows to go in the quiver, a display stand, and a collector's card. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out this actual figure. So here we go, Oliver Queen, the Arrow from the TV show. This is their first live action McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. See his face here, he's got a little bit of scruff going on, he's got the mask, not the painted version, so clearly this is not from season 1. Suit has really nice texture going on. You can kind of see in his bicep area there, below his shoulder. You can see some more of the texturing going on and a little bit more of the suit. Kind of cool how McFarlane can squeeze all this into a $20 figure budget. Liking his outfit, the zipper, the leather look. Overall, looking pretty cool. Looks like double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. Looks like a little peg hole to fit his quiver on. Overall, looking pretty decent. The question is he better than the DC Collectibles versions or not? So next, let's check out his accessories. And let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Simply a perfect circle. Got the DC logo on the bottom here. It's got one peg for the peg hole in his feet. And it is rather thin. Now I'm not much of a stand guy. This is going to go into a huge bin of stands. Never be seen again. Then we've got his collector's card here. Pretty much Arrow from the TV show. Green Arrow from Arrow. The back side here. A little bit of data on the guy. I noticed it says from the Arrow TV show. It says 2018. So it must be from a season that played during that year. So next, let's check out his bow and arrow. This thing here is one solid piece of plastic. Nothing moves on it. The arrow is permanently attached. It'd be nice if it was like the DC Collectibles one and had sort of a bungee string on the back here. As it is, this thing doesn't look too bad, but it really doesn't have a lot of practicality. Notice my arrow is quite bent here. That can be fixed with ease, but annoying nonetheless. And then next, let's look at his quiver and his arrows. It's here like a little backpack, little pouch, has a peg that goes into the peg hole in his back. And the arrows here, got a whole bunch of arrows, just sort of stick in to the back of his outfit. Here he is wearing his quiver. You sure can't tell from the front, but if you spin him around, here it is. And you take the group of arrows, stick them into his quiver. And I must say, I was a little bit unimpressed how they fit in there. They're quite loose. I figured they would sort of lock into place, have some at the bottom to keep it a little bit tighter than that. Here he is from the front with both his quiver and his arrows attached. Here he is holding his bow and arrow. This is about the best you're going to get this guy to look, holding it with two hands. Honestly, I think his bow and arrow sucks. I hate that it's one piece. Seems like it's a little too big. I don't like that it's all plastic. Overall, I think it's kind of a fail. Wasn't too concerned because I plan to use my DC Collectibles bow and arrow for this guy. But when I pulled it out of storage, apparently it had snapped while in there. And this thing was a pretty cool bow. I could probably try to reattach it, but I don't think it would ever stay. It had a really nice string that was sort of stretchable. Really, really cool feature here. Normally it's a string like this that would break, not the actual bow. And so when handling the figure, I was curious how good his face truly looked. So I went ahead and removed his hood here. You can sort of put it back with ease. I could glue it if I wanted to. So his face looks decent, but you can't display him like this. He's got this ridiculous line in his head where his hood sort of fits into place. He's not painted on the back here. Overall, that ended up being quite a disappointment. I expected a completely painted and finished head underneath. Not what I got. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this guy here, from bottom to top, sitting at about 7.1 or 7.2 inches, which translates to about 18 centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. Let's get rid of his quiver for this. Actually, take his hood off as well. So his head here, of course, you can rotate from side to side, but you're really unable to do most of that with his hood on. Look down, but that far, which is pretty nice, and up that far. But like I said, when his hood is on, really can't access his head and do very much, and this thing is honestly really easy to rip off. I'm going to probably end up gluing it back on because his head serves no purpose with the hood off, the way they've designed it here. Shoulders go out quite a bit more than 90 degrees, which is pretty nice. There's a ball joint in here, as well as a bunch of texturing in the shoulder area, up, down, around, all that fun stuff. See this extra piece of material between his shoulder and his chest. I believe this is a butterfly joint. It allows shoulders to go in and out, thus increasing his range of motion quite a bit. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that, go all the way in. Now his wrist here, there's a ball between the forearm and the hand. You can rotate it around. It's also hinged, go up and down. Can't really see what's going on inside of here. It's got some soft goods material. He's got some kind of a waist swivel ball joint at the bottom there, and I feel like he's got a little bit of a crunch above that. It doesn't seem like it rotates. This one here can rotate around and go in and out quite a bit. Almost feels like he doesn't even have a chest inside of there. Can't really see what's going on. They sure prevent you from being able to see that very good. But it looks like it goes all the way inside there, and there's just nothing. Legs got about this far, not quite 90 degrees. It's not a ball joint, but it's the same sort of concept. The leg itself can move slightly independently of the ball joint, but not by much. Then go forward about that far, back about that far. Looks like he doesn't have a thigh cut here. Double joint knees below that. His foot here, same concept as his wrist. There's a ball between the shin area and the foot. Go up, down, toe articulation as well. His foot can rotate around from side to side. And you can't really get to rock unless you were to take the ball joint, move it to the side, move it back over while holding the ball joint, and then you can kind of get to rock. But frankly, it's a pain in the ass to get that to work right. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures, starting off by checking him out with the rest of the McFarlane DC Multiverse. Now, Arrow is the only live-action DC McFarlane figure they've made so far. We know for complete certainty they're going to be making a Birds of Prey Harley Quinn figure. She's even pictured on the card back of some of these guys. Apparently she was moved back to Series 2, as that'll be closer to when the film releases. Here he is next to a comic Batman and comic Superman from McFarlane DC Multiverse. These guys scale up great together. They blend in good together. This is what I'm going for, a multiverse where all the figures can be displayed together. And here he is, next to the entire McFarlane DC Multiverse collection. So far we've got 12 figures and a vehicle. Now I mentioned earlier I really like the fact that the live action figures like Arrow fit in good with the comic figures, and I stand by that statement, but I must say that the animated figures do not fit in well with the comic or the live action figures. They are just too bulky and stylized. Here he is next to a bunch of DC Collectibles Arrow figures. They made a total of 5 of these guys. There was also a shirtless, unmasked version that I customized into something else. This guy looks, in my opinion, pretty much every bit as good as these guys, and he's better articulated and a little sturdier. He's also a little bit taller than all these guys. Here he is next to the Mattel Multiverse Arrow figure. Now in my opinion, this is a garbage figure. These figures cost the same. They're both $20. Which one looks better? Which one gives you the better value? Which company is making better multiverse figures? I mean, look at their faces. The Mattel face is so soft. His whole outfit is soft. The sculpt is not that detailed. There's no texture. His articulation is worse. And he's smaller. All this for the exact same price of $20. And I mentioned earlier customizing the shirtless Oliver into something else. I took a DST, Diamond Select Toys, Gotham Gordon body and put the unmasked Oliver Queen head onto it. Now I've got Oliver Queen in civilian attire, and I think it works great. It even scales up pretty good with McFarlane figures. Here he is next to a Mattel DC Universe Classics Green Arrow figure. This is my favorite sort of way Green Arrow looks. Classic from the comics. Originally, when they released this figure, I thought I would never need another Green Arrow figure, and I stand by that, but the TV show really wasn't around back then. Here he is with some of his allies in civilian attire. We've already gone over the Oliver Queen on the far left. Next, we've got a DC Collectibles John Diggle. And the far right, we've got DC Collectibles Felicity Smoke. Here he is with a DC Collectibles Red Arrow figure. This was his partner in the show at one point. Here he is with a few White Canary and Black Canary DC Collectibles figures, also from the Arrow show. Next, let's check him out compared with some other action figure lines from some different companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And here he is next to some DST or Diamond Select Toys. Then next to some NECA action figures. And now here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles action figures. Here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here next to some Mafex figures. Then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And now next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Here he is next to some Jazzwares figures. So overall, this is a decent figure. He's not one of my favorites, but I'm a little bit biased. I'm a huge Batman fan, so those are the figures I'm going to like the most. This is a live action figure, the only one they've made so far. And even though this guy does look good, and I like having a live action Arrow, to hopefully go with a live action Batman they'll eventually make, whether it be the Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Adam West, the upcoming Robert Pattinson. It'll be nice to be able to cross different live action franchises. Really hope they do something old like Christopher Reeve Superman, Michael Keaton Batman. That stuff would be great. If I were to rate this figure, I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10. Like I said before, being a little bit biased because I'm a huge Bat fan. This guy is not a bad figure. His articulation's on point. The suit looks good. The texturing. Really don't like his accessories. Couple little flaws on the figure. Don't like his hood execution either. But overall, he does the job. He looks pretty good. And he's a good bang for your buck. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Keep an eye out for the rest of my McFarlane DC Multiverse reviews. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.